The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Can it get any worse, or have the New York Jets actually reached rock bottom as a franchise? We'll talk about that and where they go from here. Will Parkinson joins us. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Huge shout out to everyone who tuned into the post-game show last night. It hit over 25,000 views, and the Beningo spot from this morning is trending that way as well. So appreciate everyone continuing to support this channel, despite the fact the Jets don't want to support us. And for more on the New York Jets, we say hello to the host of the Turn on the Jets podcast, the great Will Parkinson. Will, last time I saw you in person, we were hopeful the Yankees were going to be able to force a Game 6. Then you fast forward to what happened that night, debacle, and then fast forward to where we are with the Jets, an even greater, spectacular level of debacle. How are you?
I mean, I've been better. It's just frustrating, man. I think the biggest thing that I guess I've been frustrated with is not necessarily execution, not maybe necessarily the roster, even though I have some issues there. Not even the play calling. Why do we talk about effort every week? Why is it always effort and energy, and the energy's this, the energy's that? And look, I understand that from a baseball reference perspective. I just said this on my pod that'll drop after this, is that, it's like when the Yankees in Game 3, it was like, oh, they have no energy. And then the Game 4, they do. It's when you're playing, Garrett Wilson encapsulated perfectly, when you're playing like trash, your energy seems bad. And I get that. That said, it's just like yesterday to not, the vibes are loose. Everything seemed good. And this wasn't like a BS, like we had a good week of practice. Like talking to a lot of the players, like they felt really good about where they were at. They felt like a good game plan. We're getting healthier. Like we feel good about the momentum. And then it's just like, they just don't, Padres, they don't handle adversity well. The energy was obviously bad. The execution on defense was horrible. Red zone offense was bad. It's tough, man. And, knowing the Jets, they'll go win this week and it'll be like, oh, you never know. And like, it's just, that's what will happen. But yeah, yesterday sucked. It sucked. I don't know. Like it was really frustrating. It wasn't a fun afternoon. It wasn't cheerleading for the team. I met some people on Twitter that were mad that I posted Quincy Williams' hit 13 seconds after it happened. But yeah, that yesterday sucked. Like, I don't know how else to, it was horrible. Don't know how else to say it.
I want to pull up the now deleted Sauce Gardner tweet from this morning that I think perfectly encapsulates everything that is wrong with this franchise. Really, since 2011, if we're being quite frank, but specifically now with the Joe Douglas era, which is coming to an end in this regime as a whole. Sauce tweeted this morning. So the context is Rich Cimini, longtime Jet reporter for ESPN. Every week, he has a tweet, Jet stock report. And he listed entire defense, parentheses, 20 missed tackles, cornerback Sauce Gardner, the costliest miss, which, if you remember, people, when Sauce Gardner did not wrap up Trey McBride, it was 3rd and 6. The Jets were about to get off the field. The score in the game was 14-6. So it was still a one-score game. Jets were about to get the ball back, and I doubt they would have done anything with it. But, hey, it was a huge moment in the game. And Sauce has the unmitigated gall to tweet, yup, I'm 100% sure me missing that tackle at the beginning of the second quarter for a gain of 17 yards was the costliest miss, and that is, in fact, what lost us the game. And I want to make this clear about Sauce. He's a young guy. I'm not going to say, yeah, I will never forgive him for this. I'm not going to sit here and say they should trade him right now, all that nonsense. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I think this tweet encapsulates everything that is wrong with the culture of this organization. I think sometimes the word culture, can be overused. I think when it comes to the Jets and their culture, what Douglas and Saleh supposedly built these last 4 years together, this represents everything that is wrong inside that building. And I know he deleted the tweet, and I'm sure he'll be asked about it this week, and he might apologize. Who knows? But this represents to me everything that is wrong with the Jet franchise.
Yeah. I think what's tough is that there's just no reason for it. I think that's where I like Sauce a lot. I think he's had a really rough year in terms of the expectations he set for himself, which are extremely impressive. 2-time first team All Pro. We know the background. We know the accolades. He's been fine in coverage. He hasn't been as dominant, but he's been fine. Like, I have nothing to say bad, really. I mean, look, he's gotten called for more penalties this year, but I don't really have a lot to complain about, I guess, from that perspective. The run defense has been bad all year for him. And again, I get it. Like, most corners don't tackle well, at least. So, like, yeah, missed tackle here or there. Like, it happens. Like, I think you're okay with it. I think what's hard with the Sauce conversation is it does seem a lot like it's not a willingness to tackle, which is, I think, why people get so frustrated or angry about it. Yesterday he tried to tackle him. It wasn't like it was just where they were in that game. The defense started out horrible first 2 drives for sure, but we've seen them do that before, and they settled down into games and figured it out. And it felt like the first 2 things on that drive, first 2 plays, like, oh, nice. Okay. A little bit better here. 3rd and 7, perfect call. Got it right. Did everything right. Sauce is in the right spot, makes the right play. It's 14-6. They've actually moved the ball really well. Hey, they didn't score touchdowns, but hey, man, like, Cardinals started with it. All of a sudden, they're going to be the first one to punt. We'll get the ball back, and maybe the game's different. I know it's crazy to say that because of how it turned out, but you can point to every single play in the 7 losses and be like, that was the play. It's the one stack of plays, right? It's the first and goal from the 1 against Denver. It's the first and goal from the 1 against Buffalo. Amidst the missed kicks, it's the New England punt return. It's the San Francisco. It's the fumble from Breece Hall against San Francisco. It's whatever. Like, you can really point to so clearly 1 or 2 plays. And did that play lose them the game? Obviously not, right? But it's such a big play. And Jake, I don't understand why Sauce tried to tackle him like that. That's like the thing that's mind-blowing to me is Trey McBride's 245 comfortably, probably heavier. Sauce not going for his legs or not trying to hold him up. He did a good job of initially wrapping, but hold him up there. It's the NFL. They might call you, forward progress stopped, right? We know that the NFL's got a quick whistle. They're not good at their job. So, like, maybe you get lucky there. Your teammates rally the football. They make the play. They punt. The Jets probably do go down and score, or they get points on that next drive and like 14-9 or 14-13, whatever it is, like different ball game. It was just such a crushing blow because I don't know why he tried to suplex him. Like, you were never going to do that. No DB in the league is suplexing Trey McBride, let alone like a corner that's 185 pounds. So the moral of the story is yeah, you can make your excuses on that play. You could say it's not a big deal, or you could overblow it. It doesn't matter. It was, why tweet that knowing there's no upside there?
What's the win? There is none. And it just shows, Will, a guy, he's too online. He's too online. And it's like a lack of accountability. It's like, if that's what you're focused on, man, stop putting personal above the team. And that just goes back to the overarching take from this disastrous season. It's a team.
Who's the adult in the room?
Exactly. There is none. And it's a roster. It's not a team. And that's the bottom line. This team is more talented than 3-7, but they don't play like it. Yeah. They play like a 3-7 team. They have flashes of brilliance. New England, the first in the home opener, the Texans second half. They'll give you a moment, a half, but they're not a winning team. They have no winning culture. They have no winning leadership in that room. Devontae Adams was here for 5 minutes and he called out their energy level after his first game. If that didn't speak volumes then, nothing will.
Yeah, I think what's the most the concept of a player-led locker room is a good one, right? I think excuse me, the best teams are player led, right? Because they hold each other accountable and all these different things. And this Jets roster is a lot better than I think people are saying at the moment. Everyone now all of a sudden thinks all these guys suck, and I get it. I'm not telling people not to feel that way. I understand how fandom works. My brother made a good comparison, and I talked about this on the pod, and I'm curious your take, Jake. Not to flip host on host with you. If I told you that this Jets team is the 2023 Mets, and next year is probably going to be a lot of the similar pieces with a much better head coach, or just some semblance of leadership from a head coach and a different GM, and they become the 2024 Mets, where the guys that are where you thought were good that underperformed in 23 become actually good again in 24, and just the change in leadership and having adults in their room theoretically makes them probably play to the 10 wins or something, or 9 to 10, maybe 11 wins that we kind of expected. Would that be crazy? My point being, the coaching's so bad right now and the energy so bad. It's not selling hope. It's a hypothetical question, buddy. It's my point being, like, everyone's underperforming, generally speaking. The guys that even are, all pro level players are playing like starters. The starters are playing like meh, league average, below league average. And the guys that were kind of coming into the year as the guys who were like, ooh, not sure if this is, this guy's really that good. Michael Clemens, Javon Kinlaw type have just been horrible. So my point being, like, it's so frustrating because if you have a good head coach, and this is not even beating up on Jeff Ulbrich. I don't blame Jeff Ulbrich at all. Like, he was put in literally an impossible situation, and this sucks. It sucks for him because this was a shot for him and everything else like that. But I don't know. I just feel like this. Yeah, you said it best. It's a roster, not a team right now, and they need stability. They need, a adult. And people can be mad about it, and we can talk about head coaches all we want. Like, Mike Vrabel's not perfect. I don't know if he'd take this job. I think he would if the Jets showed enough aggression and gave him some control. But they need that type of guy to come in because, again, look at the Chargers. Chargers roster is significantly worse than last year, Jake.
This year's team is last year's Chargers, is how I'd compare the Jets.
And guess what they did? They brought in a really good coach.
Right.
They said, we're not going to beat ourselves every week, and we are going to be really good at fundamentals, and we're going to let you beat yourself, and we're going to have their talent that we still have some of take over. And the Chargers are now going to probably win 10, 11 games. They're the best defense in football. The Jets have had crappy luck injury-wise on defense, but, man, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because I don't think fans were wrong to be hopeful of this season. I don't think players were wrong to feel hopeful. I don't think anyone was. I think that it was like they've done all of the steps. Every concern you had going into the year have kind of come true, right? Like, guys, even the concerns we didn't have. We had concern about D-line depth and losing JFM, Bryce Huff, Q-Jeff. It's blown up in their face. Defensive injury attrition. Mosley, Reed, Sauce, Carter, Adams, Clark have all gotten hurt. Even on the, obviously, Reddick didn't play the first 9 games, 8 games, whatever. Jermaine gets hurt. Offensively, Rodgers has been so up and down. So it's like week to week, you're not really sure how good of a performance, how not good of a performance. It's frustrating. I keep saying it, but it's just like, it's very frustrating to watch what's unfolded here.
I mean, it's the most down bad I've ever seen this franchise. I mean, the thumbnail asked the question, Will. I mean, is this rock bottom? Have they reached rock bottom as a franchise? I'm hesitant to say yes because there's still 7 games left in this season, and who knows what the Jets have in store to pain us even more. At least now they're done at 3-7, but I'm hesitant to say it's rock bottom because the more they lose, the more Sauce tweets. You wonder about Garrett, if he wants to be here, right? You're going to have to definitely extend him. Otherwise, I feel like he's requesting a trade. Like, these are the conversations you start to have as the season continues to spiral out of control.
Yeah, it's never as bad as you think. It's never as good as you think. So it's somewhere in the middle. The Jets are, if you ask me right now, they're probably going to finish 7-10 again. Maybe they'll finish 8-9. Maybe it'll be 6-11. It's give or take one. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're looking at. They're a average football team that any given week can beat anybody and any given week can lose anybody. We've quite literally seen it this year. We saw it last year. We saw it 3 years ago. they are lacking a GM. They're lacking a head coach. They're lacking a good staff. They're lacking probably some talent on the roster. But I'm just, it's hard for me to believe that if you just supplanted Mike Vrabel for Robert Saleh back in February and let Vrabel have his staff, that the Jets are not 6-4, 7-3 right now.
Well, I do think the biggest issue on this team is 100% the coaching. Yeah, I mean, without question, this team is better than 3-7.
It doesn't have to be like everyone's like, and again, maybe the Jets go for the Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson type guy, right? It doesn't have to be those guys, but that type of like the offensive play caller. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't, like, you don't need to have, if they want to go CEO type, it could work. They could go defense. Like, there's a million ways you could approach this thing, but the issue right now is when energy and discipline and preparedness to play and different things like that. I feel like that's all in coaching. And I feel like right now, going into the year, I think coaching was probably our biggest concern, everyone's biggest concern. And that's exactly what's unfolded. The coach was so bad, they had to fire him. His staff basically was just the offensive coordinator was so bad, they had to reassign him to the Beirut office. And, yesterday was sucked. Part of it was like, if you're going to get blown out, it's like, it happens, but it was like, it was so obvious, like what was going to occur that, the second the game started and everything went right for them. Like, I'm annoyed that the Chiefs won now because screw the Chiefs. And, they get lucky there, obviously, with the blocked field goal. The Colts lose, the Bengals lose. Like, it was all right there. They would have been a game out of a playoff spot going into a very easy or winnable Colts game and a bye. And now we're like, yeah, they're not winning 7 out of 8 realistically.
Well, the thing is, too, Will, like, this would have been the perfect year for them to break, at the bare minimum, this playoff drought. The AFC is not very good this year. You've had so many teams fall off. It was all right there for the Jets that if they could just be a similar level team to what they were last year, plus better quarterback play, that's good enough to win 9 or 10 games. Like, Aaron Rodgers has not been good. I thought he was really bad yesterday at times in this game, but he's played like a competent quarterback, I would say, overall more times than not. And if they had the team we thought they were supposed to be this year, with the defense, special teams being a big issue with Zerline, they'd be alive right now. I'm not saying they'd be a Super Bowl team. They wouldn't be, but for a franchise that, as we got reminded yesterday, as we do every game this time of year, that has not made the playoffs since 2010, that's at least something. And then, like, anyone who's saying, oh, well, you were supposed to be a Super Bowl team, who cares about just making the playoffs? No, man, because these players are going to get engulfed in the same old Jets karma, and you want them to experience winning, build winning habits. And it's like, if you're just going to finish 6-11 again this year, or 7-10, maybe this team can win 4 more games. What is that really doing now? It just, and there's no, and here's, I think, what's the most disheartening. I don't know, Will, what you do to fix it. There's no right way to go about it. There's the, hey, new coach, Rodgers for 1 more year. Maybe you try it. You get draft the quarterback. You blow everything up. You just get ahead of the Rodgers dead cap hit that's coming, and you start fresh. You jettison some young players and get picks for a new GM and start a rebuild over. There's a million different ways they could go. There's no right one here because they've tried everything during this playoff drought, and nothing to this point has worked. And now you're asking Woody Johnson, before he leaves for 4 more years, to go overseas to hire the right GM and coach, and no Jet fan has any faith in ownership to make that hire properly.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the most realistic I get it. People hate on Rodgers more than anybody else, but like, I love how Joe Douglas keeps escaping blame here. He's literally the worst GM statistically, like one of the 3 worst ever by record. But it's fine. We'll just keep defending him. He hasn't done his job in a year. We'll just keep crapping on Rodgers. But hey, at the end of the day, I think the most realistic thing, if you were betting right now, is the Jets hire a coach, GM, obviously. They bring Rodgers back and Devontae, and they run 80% of the roster back. They'll have some, obviously, a change, right? A Tyron Smith will walk. They'll probably cut Lazard and let him walk, and you free up money there. And, the Reddick will walk, and DJ Reed will walk, and they'll extend Garrett, and they'll have to figure out what to do with Quincy there. And CJ will have a conversation about, hey, like, is this it for you? Are you coming back 1 more? Like, they'll have some of those conversations around the margins. They'll add some marginal pieces They're going to have a bunch of picks. You know, it's not a million, but they have a bunch. And, you know, they'll run 80% of it back, and then they'll draft the quarterback in either round 1 or maybe round 2. And, you know, that guy will sit under Rodgers. He'll be the story of training camp. And that head coach GM will say, hey, I have a chance to try to win 9, 10, 11 games, depending on what happens. Obviously, they've been, you know, schedule and whatever. And we're going to make Rodgers like kind of a game manager type. He's going to make the throws he needs to. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to play good, whatever. Like that's, and we're going to lean on the 2 guys, and we're going to be the whole staff's going to be better. So this is what's going to elevate these guys. We'll win the 1-score games we didn't. And we'll get some equity with the fan base. And then we'll kind of blow it up a little bit in 26. You know, some of the guys that have one more year, like they'll just kind of smooth transition into it that way. I don't know if that's the best move or not. I just think that's the most realistic. The Jets have to try to sell tickets. They have to try to be relevant. And I don't think realistically with a roster that's a lot of which is under control, young pieces, like, are you going to talk Garrett Wilson and Sauce and Jermaine and Brees and these guys that you want to have here long-term? Hey, I know you're about to get paid. We're going to blow this whole thing up and try to win 2 games next year. Like, I don't know that's not really an attractive job for someone. Maybe it is. But, you know, to me, I feel like that's probably the most realistic path. Again, I don't think you're cutting Rodgers. I think it's either he's retiring, which is the most probably that, or he's retiring are the most 2 likely options. But yeah, like, I don't know. I know there's not a perfect answer here, but I'm just saying I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying the most realistic thing is probably, hey, we're going to pay Vrabel a bunch of money. I'm just using Vrabel as the example. It could be somebody else.
That would actually be a good hire, though, because Vrabel is established. And I think no matter who they hire as coach, unless you tell me it's Ben Johnson, who I don't think would come here, you gotta not try the first-time head coach who's never done it, trying to learn on the job in the biggest media market in the world. They get eaten alive.
Yeah, no, I just think that, you know, it's, I don't know, hey, maybe you get lucky and Jalen Milroe falls to you and you're at 11 or 12 or whatever, and Jalen Milroe sits under Rodgers for a year and you're like, hey, this guy's an electric player, and like a year under Rodgers and getting to learn the NFL game. You know, that's what we do. And, you know, we extend some of our young guys. We're able to kind of maneuver and make the cap, make it work for us. You know, we have some money and we'll have more money in 26 if we figure it this way. To me, I think the full blown, we're going to blow it up and like be horrible next year on top of already like struggling this year. To me, not for nothing, the Jets like have done that like 5 times and it hasn't worked. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to try to do it the right way, and we're going to draft and develop a quarterback who has no pressure to play at all in the first year. And I saw suggestions of Tyrod being the starter next year. Like, I don't, man. Like, I like Tyrod a lot. He's a really quality backup. Tyrod Taylor's not making it more than 3 games in a row. He can't stay healthy. That's part of why he's a backup in this league. And there's no disrespect to him, but like, look at the Giants, look at the Bills, look at the Chargers, look at the Browns, his last 4 stops. Like, it happens. Yep. Texans, it happens every single time. And it's not disrespect to him. that's not a realistic option. And what's the point of even having Tyrod as your start? Like, I don't know. I understand. I love everyone saying Jay Milroe in it. He just torched LSU and is probably put himself back in the Heisman conversation. Maybe he's not good, but he has the most unique skill set of any of these guys. People are going to twerk for 27-year-old Cam Ward, who won't be a Jet. So I don't get that part. But yeah, man, I know there's not a perfect solution. It's a tough thing because you love to have like if you want a clean reset, but the clean reset would probably come after 25. I don't see a way you like clean reset next year unless you. What are you going to trade the entire roster?
Well, there's still talent on the team. That's why I look at what the Chargers.
There's a lot of talent. That's the problem. That's why it's the one thing would be an attractive opening theoretically.
Well, because I mean, you have an owner that is going to pay you a lot of money. It's still one of 32. The question is,
look at other openings, by the way. Like the Jags is much better. The Saints are much better. The Raiders potentially are much better.
Well, let's look at it, right? That's the biggest thing I keep coming back to. Everyone's like, oh, who's going to take this job? A lot of people are going to take this job. There's one, not that many of them, and 2. I mean, compare the Jets job to some of the other ones. Like, there's pros and cons of all these jobs. The reality for any Jet fan, though, is this. Do you have any faith in the owner making the right hire here? And I also think, well, is he going to hire the GM first and then that guy assist with the coaching search? Is Woody going to go back to the old, hey, let's do the arranged marriage with Charlie Casserly and Ron Wolf, and they throw McCagnon and Bowles together? They've never met before, never worked together. Like, what is the strategy going to be for the Jets to actually get this right? Because I'm just assuming Douglas is gone. He should be. His contract won't be renewed. And then what's the process to actually finding?
He's back.
Right. What's the process to finding the next GM and coach?
Yeah, I think this is one of those. If Rodgers is going to come back, he is not a part of the process. Hey, this is what we're thinking about, and this is what we're going to do. Keeping him in the loop, but I think he's not a part of the process. I think, obviously, I know Cam Ward's not actually 29 years old. Relax. He's been in college forever. That was it's part of a joke. It's sarcasm. Unfortunately, this fan base doesn't understand sarcasm anymore. It's a shame. But yeah, man, like, the Johnsons have to basically say, like, this is why everyone's kind of talked about that, like, CEO type, football czar type of thing coming in is, hey, can that guy come in and be really the guy that hires the head coach? Can Woody go out and say, hey, Pete Carroll, here's literally $6 million a year to just, like, hire the right people in your own building? I don't know. Maybe it's not Pete Carroll. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody else. But, somebody else, and come in and say, hey, you're going to be the guy that hires them. And, like, there's teams that do this around the NFL. Because maybe Woody and Chris just, they've done decent things at points in their career. They've gotten some of the hires right, but unfortunately, a majority have not.
Wait, hold on. Holy shit. You got to be kidding me.
What?
This is real. This is a real tweet from Sauce Gardner. He just tweeted, I am very accountable and my teammates know I owe it to them. Not you or anybody else on this app. I missed one tackle and gave up like 19 yards. Do I want each of those plays back? Of course. But how about you come play corner in the NFL for a week and let me know how it goes? Winky face at Matt O'Leary. Sauce literally just called out Matt O'Leary, who I'm sure had the same criticisms I had at the beginning of this video. Oh my God. Can we stop? Hey, we stop, Sauce. Stay offline, man.
Why is Matt getting? Matt got cooked for drinking cayenne pepper. Now he's getting cooked by Sauce. Love you, Matt. We have the same real estate agent. There's so many things here, and I understand why fans are pissed, and I get it. I'm not, I'm not telling people not to be pissed. I know everyone, is down on all the players and they're down on all the different things. I get it. If you just try to take like a little bit of a step back, just a little bit, I'm not saying to not be pissed. I'm livid. Trust me. I feel these losses more than anybody. I get it. But I feel like again, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as good as you think, right? Nick, the Jets clearly are not. Their roster and coaching staff combined was not a Super Bowl team. Keyword team. And, I think many of us kind of got duped into like, hey, if this defense is going to be a top 5 defense and all these guys take the next step, plus Rodgers is even like top 15 guy, they got a shot. And like, I don't know that that's necessarily still was false. The problem is the coaching staff was even worse than we thought. The GMs checked out. And unfortunately, Rodgers has been week to week the 7th or the 28th best quarterback, which is hard. I mean, it ends up falling in the middle. But, like, it's hard just the variance. And then –
well, half the half you don't know what version of Aaron you're now getting.
Right. And then, unfortunately, like, Tyron obviously hasn't been as bad recently, but had a really rough stretch there for a couple of weeks where it's like, man, like, I thought Tyron maybe would get hurt. I didn't foresee him falling off a cliff like that. AVT ended up getting hurt. Simpson's been pleasantly surprising, and Tippmann, and like whatever. Like, you can go through the whole checklist. Garrett struggled, out of the gate. Brees struggled out of the gate. Sauce has obviously struggled. DJ Reed's missed time. The safeties have missed time. Michael Carter's been playing with a million injuries, and shout out to that dude. That dude is one tough mother effer, but has tried to gut through it, and it's just like it's hard. Mosley's basically missed the whole year. Quinnen's been up and down. Reddick, there's a million things you could go through, but I guess I just kind of keep looking at it of like, I try not to be like the biggest doom and gloom person, but not like selling fake optimism. It's just like, we get it. Like, everyone's pissed. But, I'm not really sure there's not really much to like doom and gloom about other than all we already know. The only reason I would say is like, if you can find a way to just say, listen, like, Woody and Chris, you have to pay whatever it's going to take for whoever, like, and they did this for Woody and Salah, to be fair. Like, they gave them 5 and 6 year deals, and they basically sought out the entirety of their deal. Douglas is going to basically make it all the way through. His
6 year deal,
6 year deal, but like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It's disappointing. Like,
what are we doing?
Hey, who
here,
it is?
man?
That's just the tweets. What's the upside here? Everyone knows you're a good player. No one's saying you're not a good football player. Maybe people are, but who gives a crap? Like, who cares?
I love Matt O'Leary. He's a friend of mine. The last thing Sauce Gardner should ever be doing is tweeting in response to one of Matt O'Leary's takes on his YouTube channel, man. Just put the phone down. Just play better. You know what will happen if Sauce starts playing better? Jet fans are going to be right back rooting for him and supporting him. There were a couple weeks people were saying trade Garrett. He's actually not that good. And then he's become one of the best receivers in the NFL this year. And no one's saying that right now. Just, it's brutal. And I guarantee you he will have this tweet deleted within the end of this stream, because that's what he always does. He tweets and then deletes it. It's just, how do the Jets not have anyone in that locker room, player or coach, who says to Sauce, stop tweeting? There is no win that comes from tweeting at the fans, going at Samini earlier. It just represents the issues on this team. They don't have leadership. We keep hearing about player-driven locker rooms, this and that. They have no leadership. They didn't have a head coach. They were poorly coached with Robert Saleh. Now they're non-coached with Ulbrich. It's just, let me see. I bet you Sauce has deleted this. Has he done it yet? Let's see. It's gone. Did I not call it or what? Sauce has already deleted that tweet. This is now gone, everybody. It was up at 4:18. It is now 4:25 p.m. This tweet is now done. Who could have saw that coming? Who could have predicted that? Maybe me, who lives and dies with this goddamn franchise every day of my life. Maybe the Jets should start caring as much as me, Will, and everyone watching does. Then maybe they'd win games, because they didn't care yesterday.
I'm not sure it's funnier that, what's his name? He keeps trying to cook me about a literal joke about Cam Ward. He has also been in college since 2020. Do your research, by the way. If you're going to try to cook me, I'll come back and cook you. Relax, Cold Stone Creamery. It's a joke. It was a sarcastic joke about Cam Ward being in college for 5 years. It'll be okay. You'll survive. Look, I said this about Quincy. I said this about Sauce. There's just no upside. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be on social media. You could do the Aaron Rodgers approach and say, hey, I see everything. I'm just going to say nothing. And then when I get interviewed and I'm going to do the classic, I don't see anything, whatever, maybe take that approach. These guys see everything. They see everything. I can tell you for a fact, I talk to them, a lot of them, and they see everything, right? But there's just not really if someone makes an egregious thing, you're a quitter, bro, and, some guy on YouTube is yelling in the wind, right? Sure. Hey, man, I look at my resume, like, what's it worth it? But even then, like the dunk on a troll type of thing, like, Matt's not a troll. Like, he's not. I know Matt. I've met him a bunch of times. Like, I think he's just speaking from a point of passion. He was fed up with yesterday, and I don't know what he said or what he didn't, but I assume, knowing Matt, he was just like, you got to figure out how to tackle. And the thing with Sauce that's frustrating is the biggest thing is, like, kind of feels like this was a year. This could have happened in year one, where it's like it spirals, and hey, man, I'm a rookie. Like, Sauce is still a young dude for sure. And it's just going into a year in which, like, he's looking to get paid this offseason. And maybe that's on his mind and he's pressing and it's causing him to play worse. Maybe it's like, I'm already going to get paid. I don't know the answer. But this is one of those moments when, if you're a teammate, a close teammate of Sauce, this is a CJ Mosley, someone of that nature. Maybe he's saying, hey, listen, I get it. This fan base is as passionate it gets, one way or the other. And when things don't go well, people are really angry. I like, for example, the comment section right now, right? When things are going great, it's the opposite. But this fan base lives and dies with this team. And I just think they want the best and they expect the best. This is New York, New Jersey, whatever you want to phrase it. But it's just not worth it. I just every player in New York, and the Jets should look at Giancarlo Stanton. Dead serious. Francisco Lindor or Giancarlo Stanton. I would say Stanton more so just because he's had more struggles here. Stanton has had an up and down career. Here's an MVP winner, future Hall of Famer, right? Like his resume is effing awesome. It really is. But you know what? Stanton, whenever he gets asked, he gets booed. He's under pressure. He's the best when it comes down to being under pressure on that team. And more importantly, every time, Jake, and you know this better than anybody, you live and die with that Yankee team, and a lot of your listeners, I'm sure, do as well. Like, always the right quote. Stays off social media. It's always, this is on me. I got to be better. All these different things. And guess what? When it comes down to it, Yankee fans respect Giancarlo a hell of a lot more for just saying, this is what it is. I don't know. A lot of these guys and around the league and specifically here in New York, on both sides, Giants and Jets, would do a heck of a lot better to just either stay off it, or if you're going to be on it, you can't be sensitive about it. You just can't. We're all on social media. It's annoying sometimes. It's just, you can't do it. It's not worth it.
He does the same thing every time. He then deletes it. I literally said it. This would be deleted within minutes. That's exactly what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy whose tweet Sauce took aim at, or the guy who Sauce took aim at in his tweet, is on the line right now. We say hello to Matt O'Leary. Matt, your reaction to Sauce Gardner going at you.
I don't know what I did. Guys.
Yeah,
look,
what did you do?
I think I don't know. I just talked about him in a video, and it's like, I think it actually was a big deal, that third down tackle that was missed. I posted that like 20 minutes before that tweet came. Not even, maybe probably less than that. So, or maybe his reaction to my quote tweet of his deleted tweet. But that was not my intention to elicit that reaction. I just was kindly asking him to log off a little bit.
All right, well, let's address the elephant in the room. If Sauce Gardner allows you to come play corner in the NFL for a week, how do you think you would do?
Not very well. I don't move like I used to. Not that I moved great to begin with, but yeah, that was not on my bingo card for today, as I'm, posting a video and then making a clip. And
Jake, can we put up the NYJ Matt tweet of Matt?
It's phenomenal.
Matt on a Darrelle Revis. He photoshopped Matt on the Darrelle Revis, and it's special.
NYJ Matt had it?
Yeah, it is. It's a different kind of special.
Oh my God, stand by. I'll pull this up right now. Well, let me ask you this.
Matt, I was gonna say, Matt, do you not agree with me that, like, what's the upside?
Like,
what's the upside?
I don't know.
He could have just said, I'm a 2-time All-Pro, keep my name out of your mouth. And it would have been like, oh, kind of a burn. Like, you would have been like, all right, you know what? Sure. But, like, no one's saying you're not a good football player.
And I never said that. I never said that.
That's what I'm saying.
And also, too, like, I think there's a really big difference. Like, I think if you as a fan are, like, tagging someone on Twitter or, like, in their DMs or, like, saying hateful shit, like, that is obviously crossing a line. But I think there's a difference between, like, legitimate criticism and be like, hey, like, that was actually a really big play and would have actually made a difference, and, like, please just log off. Between that and, like, in the DMs, again, I don't get it. But yes, I think I need to make that my profile picture now. That's the best thing I've ever seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, CB1, Matt O'Leary. I bet you would have tackled Trey McBride yesterday, though, Matt. You're a big guy.
I would have gave a better effort. I don't think I would have got him down, but I would have held on for dear life. I'll give myself that.
Yeah, I'll say this. Moments like this is why I love this fan base so much, because as bad as this franchise continues to be, this fan base is the best. And we care so much. And it's just, I never thought in a million years Sauce Gardner, after that play, would be taking to Twitter to basically challenge you to try and play corner in the NFL. Like, that's where we're at in the season right now.
I like Buffalo Jet fan had a good tweet where it's like, it's got to be a Matt versus Sauce Gardner Oklahoma drill to solve this for the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's check out what the Buffalo Jet fan said on the matter. I mean, this is, if I don't laugh, I will cry talking about this team the next. There's 7 games, though. I mean, Matt, you do this every day, too. What the hell are we talking about for 7 more games?
I don't.
There it is. Sauce versus Matt O'Leary, Oklahoma drill.
Matt would win.
That is.
I don't want to give myself that much credit. I don't think so. But yeah, guys, not expecting that one today. That was bizarre. Because he deleted it.
Hopefully it helps your show. Hopefully you get more viewers from it.
Maybe.
Take
That's
the
the only.
W.
That's the only pro out of this.
Are you the new Grant? Are you Grant Cohn of Jets content creators? Are you going to have Javon Kinlaw to ask if your balls are getting shriveled up on a podcast? Is that where we're headed?
This isn't what I wanted. I'm not poking. I'm trying not to poke the bear at least, but I don't know. I guess I got to play the villain now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If Sauce starts playing like he did, I don't know, his first 2 years in the league, Matt O'Leary is the biggest reason as to why. We will give you all the credit.
I'll take that credit. You know
Can
what?
we give Sauce roids, so next year he's just like Peanut Tillman and just like huge biceps, just punching the ball at every time. That'd be electric.
That would be awesome. I'm in on that.
Now, Bobby Midnight has weighed in the chat. He wrote in, I want Sauce's ass on a stick now.
Pause.
He's got my back. Bobby is now transformed and has been on my back, so I appreciate Bobby for that.
We've come a long way from this.
Well, you know, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Bobby.
Hey, how you doing, Matt? How you doing? Well, how you doing, Jake?
What's up?
Well, I think Sauce is an idiot for doing what Jake said. Typing like when I'm on my YouTube channel, they make fun of me all the time, and everybody say you should calm down, Bobby. You know they're only kidding around with you. So Sauce is taking a little butt whipping there, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think because of his, he can't tackle. He's not like our past Revis Island. He's not like that. So Matt, I'm sticking up for you, okay? Because I think he's on some New York Kush when he wrote that.
Okay.
He's probably freaking because it's their day off today, right? Is it the day off today?
Yes.
The Monday. So he's probably partying up. And, you don't do that and then just, if you got to leave it on, leave it on. Don't be a chicken shit and don't take it off right away,
Amen. Bobby, I agree. It's a good take from you.
Well, you know, I need to walk more to survive unless Jake is going live. Gotta elevate my leg. I'm Bobby.
Unreal. Well, Matt, I appreciate you hopping on at a moment's notice. The Asmaniacs and every Jet fan out there was dying to know what you possibly did to earn a mention from Sauce Gardner on a day where the Jets suffered a debacle, or the day after the Jets suffered their latest debacle, which dropped them to 3-7 on the season.
Well, boys, it's always interesting. At least we could have that going for us.
Never fails. It's okay, dude. Because yesterday, my entire Mike Williams #redline. All right, buddy, you were.
Wait, he tweeted #redline.
Yeah, and he posted at the game yesterday and said #redline.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, man,
God.
This franchise. He just did this yesterday.
To be fair, Mike Williams sucked when he was here. So like, no disrespect, but like, you were awful. So you can hate Rodgers for calling you out all you want. Like, you also weren't good here. But
where did he post this on Instagram?
Oh yeah, Zach Rosenblatt just posted a picture of it.
Oh my God. It's just every week. It's like, and I guess it was the most predictable thing ever, by the way, that Mike Williams goes there, he scores the game when he touchdown. And then I read in Zach's piece in The Athletic, the Jets front office, including Douglas, were cheering up in the press box when they saw the result of the Bronco game, which is like classic Jets. They celebrate too early before they've accomplished anything.
I got blamed yesterday so bad for tweeting a clip of Quincy Williams breaking Kyler Murray in half. And people were like, "You're a cheerleader." I was like, I don't. I tweeted this 13 seconds after the play happened. They hadn't even run another play yet. My fault. You saw it 25 minutes later, and they're like, they scored a touchdown this drive. I was like, I'm aware. Thank you. I have no idea they scored a touchdown.
#whole lotta, #we back, #redline. You know what? I'm actually glad because screw the Jets. They deserve all the ridicule, all the blame. I'm not defending this team. We all believed this year, rightfully so, and they've given us nothing. And you know what? I'll still be here long after this entire regime will be Jets. I will still be rooting for this pathetic franchise my entire life. These people won't. So you know what? Screw all of them. That's where I'm at right now.
Good take.
All right, Matt, thanks for hopping on, man. I'm sure you're going to go do more videos about Sauce Gardner, and then he'll respond, and then it's never going to end.
Can't make it up. Guys, have a good rest of your show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt O'Leary. The great Matt O'Leary. Subscribe to him if you haven't, Jet fans. Matt O'Leary NY on YouTube.
Jake, you think this guy Clay Hobbs could get off my nuts anymore? It's an incredible troll performance. I actually appreciate it. It's Matt O'Leary like for Sauce Gardner, if you know what I'm saying.
Clay Hobbs.
It's actually impressive. I will say it is an impressive. Amount of effort every time I speak to just troll me. It's actually pretty. It's good stuff. Give him credit.
I'll be on the lookout for it now.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Some super chats here. Dark Knight Steve, how about a Bobby versus Sauce Gardner Oklahoma drill? That'd be interesting. Steve says, I want a New York Jets #1 O'Leary jersey. They got to give that a try.
It just never goes like, it's like when Jamal, this is not the same thing at all, obviously. But like, I just like always think back to like, use the standard of like when Jamal Adams was trying to flame Connor. Even if there was a reason to flame someone, right? Like, again, I didn't see what Matt said, but even if you were annoyed about what Matt said, whatever, right? Like, you could have tweeted like a picture of, I don't know, your all pros. You could have been like, hey, like, you come tackle Trey I don't know, something. But like, what I don't understand is, again, what is the upside? Like, what was going to happen there? Like, everyone's going to be like, yo, F Matt O'Leary. Like, no, everyone's going to be like, oh, dude, like, the fan base is in shambles right now. You think they want to hear you dunking on like people that they watch that are also dunking on you? Like, not really.
When you fight with the fans, you never win that battle. The fans.
Remember Javi Baez doing this? Like that ended well for you, Javi Baez. You've been the worst player in baseball for the last 3 years. Good job.
You never win. When you fight with the fans, they were here before you. They'll be here after you. You're never winning that battle. Ralphie says, Sauce also made a business decision at the goal line. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of that. There's no doubt. Dark Knight Steve, Matt, there's a T-shirt that needs to be made in all this. I mean, Matt should take out Sauce's tweet and put it on a T-shirt. That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be awesome.
Cold Stone, the context of your sarcasm made no sense. That's why I said chill out, tough guy.
Okay. Thanks for the $5.
Dark Knight Steve. Hell yeah. Matt, he's pissed because you're spot on. Bo says any player with the salt in the NFL would only be worried about perfecting his craft instead of trolling the internet, troll the playbook. It's just stay offline when the team's losing, man. No one has any issue in the offseason when you're two-time first-team All-Pro. If you're streaming, you're playing golf, whatever. But when you're losing, don't go at anyone. Take your medicine. Don't say anything. Don't say anything that could be contrived or spawned that you don't care about the team. Because I'm not saying Sauce doesn't care or he's not a good teammate, but it's a bad optic when you're highlighting Rich Cimini's, stock up, stock down tweet where he notes it's a stock down for you, Sauce, that you missed the biggest missed tackle of the game out of the 20 of them. Like, let's not pretend like that wasn't a huge play. So just take your medicine and don't say anything. Stupid.
Yeah. Again, it just doesn't. There's just no upside, man. Like, there's just no upside.
I mean, Sauce has more deleted tweets today than he has interceptions all season. What are we doing here? Sauce taking tweeting more seriously than playing. Yeah, big fella. Are we giving up on Jordan Travis? What about Gabriel out of Oregon? Not a fan of Milroe. By the way, Sauce equals cat emoji. I'll leave it at that. Your thoughts on Jordan Travis and all this, Will, and then Gabriel out of Oregon as a quarterback option?
So, yeah, the Jordan Travis thing is, I just think it's one of those things that if it ends up working out here and he's either the long-term backup or even maybe he does, maybe he's better than that. Who knows? But I would just kind of expect very little, only from the aspect of that leg injury was really gross, man. And I just don't know. I have no idea what he's going to look like. I really don't. I don't know if you're ever able mentally to get over that, something like that. It's really difficult, let alone physically. So yeah, I would just say, like, my expectation is have no expectation. And hopefully next year during camp, preseason, he's able to show you something and you can go, hey, maybe that's our long-term backup, or maybe that's a guy who can be a spot starter for us. That'd be amazing. That'd be a pick worth it. And if he's more than that, that's amazing. And if he's less than that, like, the Jets took a flyer on him. That was the point of the pick. Gabriel, Monroe, yeah, like, this isn't a great quarterback class. There's a lot of guys. There's not a lot of, like, there's not really that the can't miss or the couple can't miss guys. Yeah, I just wouldn't have, like, overly high expectation. I'll get more into those draft guys when we get closer there. Although, feels like we're about 2 weeks away from, having to only talk about the draft.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your super chats. Thanks to everyone for the support. Bo writes in, I can appreciate Will's hypothetical scenario, but I would need to see them show up the rest of the season to prove any chance of that happening. That's why I think when we talk about rock bottom, Will, like, Is it? Because there's still 7 games left. Like, how much worse could this really still get?
I mean, I guess it could get worse. It could be against Miami. It could be again. You could do the same thing again. I don't know, but they did that last year against Miami when Zach had a concussion. So, it feels like there's 12 rock bottoms a year. It's like, I don't know. I felt like, to be honest with you, the New England game to me felt more of like rock bottom than this did, only from the aspect of the quality of the opponent, the way they lost. It's just, it sucks. I don't know. We'll have another rock bottom moment this year, and they'll have 2 or 3 moments that make you excited. They'll have 2 or 3 moments that suck. Like, that's just the reality of the situation, right? Like, that's what we get last year when they start 4-3, then they rattled off like 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 7, whatever it was. Then it was like, oh, cool moment against Houston, and then like lose by 100 to Miami, and then come back and they get smoked by Buffalo, and that was kind of that for Zach and probably Saleh, and then they like come back, they win a couple of, like, that's just right. They're so inconsistent right now because there's no good infrastructure that week to week you quite literally have no idea what you're going to see, and the games you think they're going to lose, they'll end up winning, and the games they're supposed to win, they will end up losing. That is unfortunately the reality of being a Jets fan right now.
The pain never ends. Joe wants to know Quinn Ewers time, boys. How do you feel about Quinn?
I mean, he's talented, but he's not. I mean, he's not starting. He's a guy that, yeah, sure. If you took a Quinn Ewers, there's a lot of guys in this class, in my opinion, that if you took them and sat them for a year, it would maybe potentially be a much better selection. I just, yeah, sure. Like, they draft Quinn Ewers and he sits under a Rodgers or somebody like that for a year. Maybe you talk yourself into it, but I don't know. Quinn's had an interesting college career. I'm not sure that's the direction I would go in.
Some interesting DMs have been released about Quinn today that you don't love to see, I'd imagine. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see a comment here from Aaron. He says, I want a channel membership. Aaron, I just gifted a channel membership. I hope you get it. We will find out if you will get it. Ladies and gentlemen, the membership went to Listener Bleed. Sorry, Aaron, I tried. It's random. However, if you want a membership, here's what you need to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you're eligible to get one. It is random. Someone might gift it for you. If you don't want to wait around to become a member, just hit the join button, and you can do it yourself. Appreciate everyone for the support. Well, kind of overarching question here before we wrap with you. Your dream hire at GM and coach would be who?
Dream GM? I don't know. I'll partner. I tweeted this out, so I'll just stick with it. I don't know if it's a dream hire, but it just would be a cool scenario. I'll run back this idea, and it's not. I would say at most one of the 4 of these will happen. I'm not even sure this is the right call, but this is just what I'll go with. They hired Pete Carroll to be in the Bill Parcells role, and he's here for 2 or 3 years, and he doesn't coach. He's not a GM. He's literally hiring people, returning analytics departments and scouting staffs, and kind of bringing in football people. Rag, new GM, lines assistant GM, has been under Brad Holmes, has worked with a Dan Campbell type. Has been in the Rams, been in the Lions organization, sustained success. Again, I'm not even sure Agnew's the perfect candidate, but at least has been successful in multiple organizations, you'd hope. Mike Borgazzi is another good call by Bino, or however you pronounce the name. And then, I'd say Vrabel head coach, Josh McCown OC. Like, that's, if they figure out a way to get that, like, you could run Rodgers out there for 4 more years. I'd feel pretty good about, where the direction they're in. But yeah, I think getting guys from good organizations, getting football people, being able to get a culture changer as a head coach. Vrabel's probably going to want some type of control, with the front office. Obviously, lost that in Tennessee, and they traded his favorite player in AJ Brown for basically Treylon Burks, and his fate was sealed there. But yeah, I think something of that nature. Again, I just don't think of Ben Johnson's coming here, and it's not even about the Jets. He said Schefter basically said he's going to only interview for a job he's taking. So the Jets might request it. He's not going to come here. Another name we've talked a little bit about, Liam Cohen from the Bucs is another name. If you want like the coordinator, play caller type Ram system, was in Kentucky, came back to the NFL with the Rams, and then has done a great job with the Bucs and Baker. So maybe that's a name. But yeah, it feels like, I don't know, Carroll, Vrabel, Agnew, McCown would be pretty cool.
Agnew and Vrabel would be very exciting. I mean, maybe even Agnew could get Ben Johnson too. You never know.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's a thing there. I don't know. I keep saying the Vrabel thing, and Jake, and I understand that like he's not perfect, but I just would implore people to. Oh man, freeze on a plane. Good God. I would just implore you to like. This guy went into New England with Ryan Tannehill and not that great of a roster. Beat Tom Brady, ended his Patriots career, smoked him in New England playoff game. Went in, beat Lamar, smoked him. Had the Chiefs, prime Chiefs on the ropes. What is a 1 seed with Tannehill? I know people are not. The last year, his record isn't quite as good, but like before that, this guy was good every year. I think they overperformed.
He's won Chiefs before, man. That's my biggest thing. He wouldn't be someone learning on the job. He can hold guys accountable. Guys respect him. They'll play for him. They're not going to quit on him. Like,
I'm acting like sauce. What, bro? What do you mean I'm acting like? That's a crazy comment. I'm acting like sauce. The one thing I'll say is I asked somebody about Vrabel today in New York, and that played for him, and said he's an asshole in the best way possible, but he's a brilliant football coach. I mean, I know everyone works about the staff. He, Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach who won 39 games his first 3 years. Everyone was ready to say he's one of the top 5, top 6 coach in the league. I wonder where he came from. Oh, the Mike Vrabel tree at offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith was known as a great offensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach. We know that, but he's had pretty good success as an offensive coordinator in Tennessee and Pittsburgh. What tree is that from, Jake? That's so weird. Is that another Mike Vrabel guy? It's almost like when the organization basically cut off his hands. Hey, maybe he could figure it out here. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, they're gonna have to open the checkbook no matter what.
I'll tell you what, this team could use a no-nonsense coach because Saleh was walked over by these guys, and Ulbrich is an extension of Saleh. It's his staff.
Yeah, I keep going back. I always wonder, theoretically what would happen, if they hadn't fired MLF, I kind of felt like Saleh's just changed from there on in, and then Douglas obviously, as a Woody, I guess was pretty involved, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you want the ultimate toxic, like what do the Jets do to be as toxic as possible but would be good TV? Rex Ryan head coach, Gruden OC, maybe Greg Williams DC, and just be like the craziest trio of all time. That would be that could be fun. Tim Tebow quarterback coach. You never know. Just get crazy.
I'll tell you what, Gruden's never taken an OC job, but I would interview him to be a head coach. I would.
Gruden's an awesome football coach. He was the fall guy for the other stuff that was going on around the NFL, and some of his comments, while at points, I guess, objectively funny, I just have a hard time believing someone's going to take him. But I have been banging the drum for Gruden for a while. I just don't think it'll happen. As long as he's not the GM. A lot of these guys, when they're not the GM and the head coach, they're much better. And
Bill O'Brien is a classic example of that.
Yeah. I just saw someone talk about Bill O'Brien. It's not even the worst idea. It just I asked Mike Giardi today, who's obviously covered Bill for a long time, and Jake, I know you covered him. It seems like there's some stuff with his family and his kids. One of his kids are tough. So I don't see him maybe leaving Boston College.
Yeah.
Good football guy, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Knowing Bill, I saw him at an event I was at in either May or June, I forget. He's very happy at Boston College. His son is a special needs son, and that's one of the reasons why he took the Texans job, because the Houston hospitals are incredible, and that was a big part of convincing his wife to move down there. So I don't think he would leave. Now, I also think just knowing Bill, him in the New York market would not work. He would lose his bleep dealing with some of the scrutiny and criticism that would come his way. So I like Bill personally. I think he's a good dude, but I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, I just can't believe we're having these conversations on November 11th, but life as a Jet fan, I guess. Will, thanks for joining us. Tell people where they can find the pod.
Yeah, TOJ Pod, TOJ Talks on Badlands, All 32 Pod, CLS Sports Media Network. Happy Veterans Day to all those who served and who continue to serve our country. Shout out to you guys. And everyone
hold on a second. A reminder.
I know it's a Jet statement. Salute the service on here. You know, got that stuff going.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. But new Q just reminded me. It's Cortical week, baby. Go Bombers. Beat Cortland.
Oh, a nice comment there. We've won 21 in a row. We are the wagon of D3 football at the moment. Hopefully extend that to extend
What's
that.
What's the spread?
Let's look.
Cortland's got to be a pretty big favorite if you guys have won 21 in a row.
Yeah, they almost lost last weekend to Brockport. But this game's always...
You throw out the record books when Ithaca and Cortland play in the Cortical job.
You do actually throw
You actually do, though. Trust me. I've covered enough of these games, and I was in college.
I was going to say, you do. It's a shame this one's not at MetLife or Yankee Stadium or even Citi Field or anything of that nature. The spread is 19.
Go Bombers, baby.
That seems high. It says the over-under is 57 and the spread's 19. That seems...
Is there actually a spread? Someone made a line?
There usually is. You can always bet on it, but the thing I'm looking at feels wrong. I mean, I guess I get it.
Maybe this would be an Ithaca Bomber Cortland football channel because the Jets are so bad.
Yeah, I wish I could find the actual... I don't think that's whatever. Even if it's not accurate, we'll go with 19.
All right,
Jake, we'll make a bet. We'll put it on Twitter. We'll do some type of bet and for the great people of the Asmaniacs.
Love it. Will, all the love. Appreciate you.
Appreciate everybody. Everyone have a great rest of your day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Parkinson, TOJ. What a show, man. We got O'Leary going at it with Sauce. Sauce going after O'Leary. Michael says, Woody alone in the box telling Joe D not welcome. Now, Douglas was in the press box yesterday with the other front office people. So they weren't watching the game together. I wouldn't read too much into Woody being alone. His brother was right in front of him, if you saw. Here's what's going to happen. Douglas is gone. All right? Dead man walking. It's over. They know it. You can't bring this. You going to offer this GM a contract extension 6 years in with the record being 30 and 62 or 63 right now? The only scenario Douglas is back is if they go out and win 7 in a row right now. Like, come on. Bo, Cliff Kingsbury, why not? I don't think it's the worst idea. Second opportunity to be a head coach. Could Cliff Kingsbury have learned from his first go-around? I mean, Todd Bowles has. Dan Quinn has. Pete Carroll learned in his multiple stints as a head coach. Bill Belichick certainly learned from his multiple stints as head coach. You know, Kingsbury was 28 and 37 and 1 as an NFL head coach. He was 5-10 and 1 his first year, 8 and 8 year 2, 11 and 6 year 3, 4 and 13 his last year there. He might end up being just maybe more of an OC than a head coach, but don't you got to interview him? Especially if you're thinking about going quarterback. Honestly, Cliff with Aaron Rodgers for a year as you draft a quarterback that sits and learns. I mean, that's the worst idea ever. Hire a great DC. Maybe that would be the only scenario you could retain Ulbrich as the DC. I don't know. But you might be starting over completely there. I doubt Jeff is back. I do think Jeff should be a DC for someone, though. I wouldn't hold this against him. Kyler was hurt the last year. He was 4 and 13 too, I'm pretty sure as well. Let me look into that real quick. Let's see why the Cardinals went from 11 and 6 to 4 and 13 in 2022. Let's find out. Games played by the quarterback. Kyler Murray was 3 and 8. He only played 11 games that year. Colt McCoy 1 and 2. Trace McSorley 0 and 1. David Blau 0 and 2. Huh. That was one of those years, man. The Cardinals had one of those years, one of those 4 quarterback years we as Jet fans have experienced far too many times. I'd give Cliff another shot, needless to say. I think it's the worst idea. All right, I'm going to open up the Gusbuster hotline right now. We'll do some calls here. If anyone wants a channel membership, hit the join button, or maybe someone will gift you one. We all could use a little positivity here on a depressing Monday in November. You know, it's sad because we keep saying like the Jet season's over, but there's still 7 games left of us having to watch them before it's actually over. It's hard to fathom. Aaron says assistant GM for the Lions and Ben Johnson. Ray Agnew and Ben Johnson would be incredible. Yeah. Would be incredible. Do I think that will happen? Probably not. But you got to try if you're the Jets. I mean, it's just money. Write a check. Make them say no. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello first up to the Hamburger on the Gusbuster Hotline. Hello, Hamburger.
What's up, Jake? The great Aaron Rodgers truther, as it said on social media about you. Nuts.
Someone said I was an Aaron Rodgers truther?
Yeah, somebody wrote that. It might even have been in the chat, but I just think it's funny. Yeah. Listen, Aaron's going to be here as long as he wants to play, and that's just what it's going to be. And
well,
I agree with it. I think
they could move on from him, though. I do see a scenario where a new GM comes in if they really want someone, and he's like, "Look,
correct.
I want to start over without Rodgers." I could see that happening.
Yeah, that's going to be up to the new GM, and that's going to be for everybody on the team. That's going to be for the new GM to decide on which direction they want to go with the team. This morning I was on my way up to take my kids to RPM, do some go-karting, listening to Joe. I can't believe people want Rex and Tannenbaum back. He's the guy that doesn't go to a smartphone. He's got the old dial-up phone still. So he wants to go back to the past. I love him to death, but I could never see that happening again. I don't ever want back to that.
Well, look, Rex, I'm open to. Tannenbaum, I think, would make no sense because the issues were once Tannenbaum had to make his own decisions with Rex, the team got worse. There were some bad personnel moves, and look, Mike got 2 chances to be a GM, and it is what it is. Rex, I could actually see a scenario where it would work because he wants the job. He had success here. As Joe said, he'd have a chip on his shoulder, but I'd have major questions about who the GM is that's working with Rex.
His staff,
I'd have his staff would be the biggest thing. Who's the play caller? What is the plan at quarterback? Because while Rex is clearly a better head coach than Robert Saleh, some of the criticisms of Rex and Saleh are very similar. Penalties, not focused enough on the offense.
Correct.
Like that's what people said about Rex. I remember it. I love Rex. I will always love Rex. But
same here.
These questions need to be answered.
I'm not 1,000% against Rex, but like you said, I got to see everything else to be on board with that. Sauce Gardner's got to read the room, man. Oh, let me take that back. Ahmad Gardner has got to read the room. I mean, come on, bro. Like, if you're going to say something, stand behind it. Anything I put on social media, I stand behind. Even if it's a mistake that I made, whatever, I own up to it. Even if it's a mistake, something comes out of my mouth, I'll own it. I'll stand by what I said. I'm not going to erase what I said. So I just, I don't see what this kid's doing, man. And that just goes to the lack of leadership on this team. And not leadership for players too, leadership from coaches and everybody else. It's just, there's no accountability. And it's this season, you're right, it's not over. There's still 7 games left. And who knows what's going to happen? Have we reached bottom? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I'm sure there's going to be something crazy that comes up again within next week or after the bye. We expect them to be better after, let's see what happens after the bye. They're supposed to be able to revamp things. And we've seen now that whenever they have time, they come out and fail.
I will let everyone know. I probably will pick the Jets to win this week. I haven't picked them the last 2 weeks. I think they're going to beat Indy because that's typically what they do. They'll go into the bye. There'll be some delusional Jet fans out there who think, well, get healthy, come out, go on a run down the stretch. And what will happen is they will lose badly to Seattle after the bye week because that's what they always do with extra time to prepare.
Yeah, my neighbor's going to be that guy. The 1 win and we're back in. That's listen. I can't blame anybody though because we all want the team to win. I want the team to win. I want the team to win every week. But especially I want them to win next week because I'm bringing my kids. I know I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be a win, but I want them to win. I want my daughter for her first game to at least see a winning game and have some fun.
Yeah. So look, I'll still root for them to win. They're not out yet. And also this idea that losing, they're going to end up with a top pick. No, they're not. Look at all the teams in front of them. They're not going to end up with one of the top picks.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, what has had a top pick done for the Jets in regards to those of you who want to draft the quarterback? It might be better for them to actually have no choice but just to take whichever one is left, because chances are that guy might be better than the ones that get picked in front of them. We see this all the time. Look at the Darnold year. It was the guys after Darnold that all have been better than what Darnold was. Look at the Zach Wilson year. They're all terrible. Like some years there's a couple good quarterbacks. Some years there's none. Some years in 2020, there's a bunch of great quarterbacks in all areas of the draft. Early first round, mid first round, second round, and Jalen Hurts. You never know. So it's all a crapshoot. I'm not worried about draft pick positioning. It is what it is.
Nope.
Good GMs get good players no matter where they're picking.
I agree. The most important thing is that we get the right GM and the right coach and let them do whatever they do. You know, it's a crapshoot. We roll the dice every time. Eventually, we're going to hit it. Eventually, we're going to get the right combination. You know, so listen, I'll let you get to some other callers. Take care, everybody, and enjoy your evening. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
Hamburger, appreciate you. MC with a good comment here. Aaron Glenn, I think, is going to get some serious consideration. Now, it's not personal with Glenn. I think he's beyond qualified. I just don't want a first-time defensive coordinator. We've done this how many times, Jet fans? And you could say, oh, well, look with Rex. I get it. It's a long time ago, though. Since then, you tried it with Bowles. You tried it with Saleh. I need someone who's done it before if you're going to go defensive, right? Vrabel, to me, is an exception. He's done it. Flores, to me, I'd be more open to. He's done it and had some success. That matters to me, man. Like, who's Aaron Glenn bringing as his play caller? I know Rex Ryan's son is on the staff. Seth? Could Seth call the plays? I do agree the next head coach, you need someone that can handle New York. And Aaron Glenn makes sense because he loves the Jet organization. He played here. He played for Parcells. I get it. I've heard from people he would love to be the Jet head coach. Would love it. People I trust have told me that. But that doesn't mean to be a good fit. I think it might be. Look, if he gets the job, I'll be all in. I'll support him. He's not what I personally want. Doesn't mean it wouldn't work. What do I know? I don't know anything. I thought his team was going to be good this year. What do I know? I thought Zach Wilson wasn't going to suck either. What do I know? I don't know anything. I'm a Jet fan. If I knew anything, I wouldn't be a Jet fan. Why would I put up with this? Anthony says, I would bet it would take less than a year for fans to turn on Vrabel if he was the head coach. Well, some of you are so negative. The first 3 and out would be fire Vrabel. Is Bobby Midnight still on the line? Earlier in the show, or in the first show today, Bobby tried to sing the national anthem to honor our incredible vets on Veterans Day. And unfortunately, he messed up the lyrics. So he said he was going to practice and then sing it during the second stream. So, Bob, if you're out there, we would love to have you honor the veterans on Veterans Day. Super chat from the hamburger. The Jets had to win for me to sing. Man. I don't know when they're going to win again. That's the problem. 3 siblings, Jay says, I wish I had my emojis. I'm going to need some help from the Asmaniacs. Until Sauce Gardner actually starts playing like a top corner again, we got to get rid of the sauce emoji. What should be our next channel emoji? That's what I need to know. We do need some more channel memberships. We got to overhaul the emojis here. I need help from the Asmaniacs. Twerp writes in, what is the definition of happiness as a 14-year-old Jet fan? Probably when the offseason begins and you have renewed hope. Right? I mean, that's been the best time to be a Jet fan, unfortunately, during this playoff drought. We get excited for the season. The season never lives up to it. If you're a 14-year-old Jet fan, you've seen nothing. I feel terrible for you. You know, the hope is you're young enough that eventually if this team does figure it out, you're going to have a long run of seeing them be good, I hope. You know, they can't stay bad forever. The Lions are now one of the model examples in sports and how to build your team. They were worse than the Jets. Way worse. You know, if you're a Browns fan, you haven't seen much. It's been better of late, though. Jack, don't we currently have the number 1 draft spot? Not even close. Do people think the Jets are that close to picking 1? They're 8th right now. Not even close. Indy says, 40 years of waiting, Jake. When will it end? I don't know, Indy. I don't know. I mean, there's been some good moments over that 40-year run. Like, people say they've had nothing their entire years as fans. Like, that's really not true if we're being fair. Like, I grew up in the 2000s. The Jets went to the playoffs a lot during my youth as a fan of this team. 01, 04, 06, 09, 10. Like, they were good. Like, pretty much every other year, they were above 500 or in the playoffs. When Chad Pennington was healthy, they went to the playoffs. Rex's first 2 years, they won 4 road playoff games. Even with Favre in 08, they were 8-3 before he played through the bicep injury that wrecked that season. And that was with Woody as the owner, by the way, all this stuff. That's why, as bad as it is now, like I was in Houston. I did afternoon radio on ESPN Houston down there. The Texans had a pastor running their franchise. And then they hired Caserio. He eventually got it right with his 3rd head coaching hire, oh, by the way. He hired D'Amico. They drafted Stroud. They got some luck there. They didn't even want Stroud. They preferred Young. And look at them. Last night aside, because that was a disgrace to lose to the Lions when Goff played like, Fitzpatrick against the Chiefs in 2016. But you get the point. And as bad as it's been for the Jets, I use this example a lot. I used this with Beningo this morning. Look at the 2022 draft class. Right? That year, the Jets were the 4th overall pick in the draft. They had the 4th pick in the draft. Jacksonville has already made the playoffs and won a playoff game since then. The Lions have made the playoffs and have won a playoff game since then. They were in the championship game last year. Houston won the division last year, won a playoff game. The Giants, as bad as they now are, and they suck too. I mean, year 1 of Dable and Shane, they won a playoff game. So it doesn't need to take forever to go from picking in the top 5 to turning it around. That's why I laugh when we talk about, Douglas needing more time and this and that. It's like, eventually you got to win, man. Like, he's had 6 years, 5 full years. And ironically, if you look at Douglas's career record, the best year from a record perspective is actually his first year in 2019 when it wasn't his team and Gase was the head coach. They were 7-9. Big fella. I want Monken and Kokinis for coach and GM. Who is Kokinis? Am I saying that right? Todd Monken, I'm very intrigued by. What he's done with Lamar Jackson as a passer has been very impressive. And he's got winning pedigree. He's been around a while. He's interviewed for this job before. Someone's going to hire Monken this cycle. Offensive guy. I can see it. Ladies and gentlemen, on a day where we must, of course, thank every veteran we know, we are joined right now by the great Bob from Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hey, how you doing, Jake?
Bobby, you ready to sing for the vets?
Yeah, I heard you. I was in the bathroom. I'm sorry, I heard you.
Everything come out okay?
What about his cousin? Is he an offensive coach?
Whose cousin?
On Army. What's the guy you just mentioned?
Oh, Jeff Monken, the Army head coach, right?
Is he an offensive coach of mine?
I think he is. I don't know if he's going to be an NFL guy, though. I don't know enough about him.
I think he is. They are not 8-0 already. I think he's a lot better than the shit we have now.
No, it's college though. I don't know. We'll talk more about this later on. But you're here for one reason and one reason.
Did Harbaugh go to college?
Yeah, but he was an NFL guy first.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm ready. I have to stand up. I took off my hat, so that's why my hair is messy.
You got a lot of gray, Bob. You look like a silver fox.
I turned 56. I'm not dyeing my hair anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I can't. Okay, well, I had a gray hair when I went down there, Noel, like me, just me 14.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm getting up now. And then I took my hat off. I have to remember.
I'm going to take my hat off, too, to honor our country as you sing, all right?
Yes, my gray hair, everybody, it's head hair.
Mm-hmm.
I got to stand up, too.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you're going to get it. See, hold on a minute. Okay, everybody ready?
USA.
Say, can you see the dawn's early light? What so proudly we held at the twilight's glass gleaming, whose the stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. And we watched, trees streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, proved to the night that a flag was still there. Then does that a star-spangled banner its way, of the land and of the free, and the home of the brave. How do you like that?
USA, USA, USA.
Can I ask you a question?
USA.
You didn't hear anything in the background, did you?
The only thing I heard was America in the background. Pride.
Okay,
Passion.
I know, but did you hear somebody else's voice?
Did I hear somebody else's voice? I did not.
Was it just me? You didn't hear Robert Merrill's voice?
I did not hear Robert Merrill's voice.
All right, good. That's why I said I had to practice. I always, if I say New York, I like Frank Sinatra in the background. I could start singing that now because I'm not monetized yet. So I could sing that on my channel if I want.
That's right.
And I could start singing songs to people too.
Would you like to respond to some criticism in the chat?
What?
South Philly says my ears are bleeding.
Well, put some alcohol in it then. That's fine.
I thought it was electric. I honestly, like, I had chills listening to that.
Okay, let's see. If you're such a perfect person, won't you get on and sing too?
Me?
Let's see who sings better. If you like typing in the chat, let's prove it. Let's have a battle of Bobby Midnight versus whatever his name is, Mr. Jackass or what? What's his name?
South Philly.
South Philly, why don't you get your butt in here? Philadelphia sucks anyway.
Yeah.
Well, get on here and prove you could sing better than me. Let's go, Buster Brown. You got
Ralphie said you're the songbird of our generation.
Oh, Ralphie, it's great. Thank you. I tried my best. I didn't say that I was perfect. I was just doing for our, veterans in the war because they saved our butts.
Absolutely.
That's why I do it. I did say I had the most beautiful voice. At least I sing better than Roseanne Barr. She didn't even get through the whole thing. She laughed in San Diego. Remember that one?
I do. You sang better than the girl who did the NBA All-Star Game performance years ago.
Oh, I heard. Oh my God! Now that girl, my ears were bleeding for that. Yes.
Yeah. Or the girl who did the MLB All-Star Game this year too. She wasn't great.
No. There's some pretty. You know who I really like? The one with the Giants and Denver Broncos. Who sang that?
Oh, wasn't that yeah, that was Whitney Houston, wasn't it?
There you go, Jake. You know your stuff.
That's right.
I don't like the husband. The husband stuff.
Twerp says, "Is it over? Finally, my ears are at peace."
Okay, Twerp. Once you get on, let's see. I love people who type in chat and don't prove anything. Do you want to come on here and sing? See if you sing better?
Yeah.
Twerp.
Yeah, Twerp.
You're probably small like that. You're probably 4'11", Twerp.
Yeah, you bum.
I'm 5'3", so let's get on. Stop talking about my singing, boy.
Oregon says Sauce could use effort lessons from Bobby.
Yes, thank you, Oregon Jet. That was very, very nice. Yeah. He doesn't show any effort. He's like a little kid. My daughter could tackle better than he can. Definitely better. Anybody else?
Whitney did the Bills-Giants game during the Gulf War. That was her Super
Bowl. Oh, that's right, Tommy. You're right. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. It was the Bill. Sorry.
All right, Bobby. Well, overall, excellent job. Way to pay respects on Veterans Day.
Yes, we do that on July 4th. Remember we did it at your house?
It's a tradition like any other. We'll do it every year.
Yes, of course. I'm here for you. I'm here for the country. USA.
USA. USA. USA.
And we got that green too that USA gives us. Green. How's that sound? I'm a capitalist. You know
that's
that.
right.
Yeah, we'll see you later, Jake.
All right, farewell, Bob.
Oh, you know I like the Yankees and the Jets. Can't believe Jake and Rogers met. I'm more than just a hat on Bobby.
What a show. Dean writes in, hey, it's Ernico Palazzo. Dean, thank you for the Asmaniac super chat. Where are we at right now? Let's find out. We got more callers on the line. Let's say hello to Ted, who's next. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Jake. Hold on 1 second. I hate to inform Bobby, but the words were not right. I love you, Bobby, but the words still weren't right. I don't know if you were reading or what, but some of the words were wrong.
What was wrong?
I forgot, but I just noticed some of the lyrics were off a little bit. But that's not the nature of my call.
Are you stirring the pot?
I state facts, Jake. That's all I do.
It sounds like you're going after my guy, Bobby Midnight.
Bobby can come back on and yell at me. He called me a pot stirrer. That's okay. I can accept it. Matt O'Leary is evidently a pot stirrer too. Jake, one thing that does drive me crazy about Sauce Gardner is he's always playing catch up on his routes. And that to me is film study. You see a lot of these corners seem to know based on film study and tendencies, some of the routes that these teams want to run, the concepts. And I see Sauce skating on, always playing catch up, on some of these plays. So I don't know if he's putting it. I'm not questioning his, study skills, but maybe he should put his nose in the film room a little bit more and try to, get some anticipatory, pre-snap reads on what teams want to run on them. Because some of these corners are blanket covering these receivers, and they seem to kind of know what they're doing before the play starts. And I see Sauce just slipping and sliding and catching up, and I don't get that part. But my other point is Bruce Arians, Jake. That's the kind of guy I would want as a consultant. I mean, is he with Tampa? He's had success with Arizona. He had success with Pittsburgh. And he was a little bit older, but so is Pete Carroll. But that's the kind of football mind you really want, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's still with the Bucs organization in an executive role. He's a senior football consultant. I actually like that suggestion a lot. I think Bruce Arians, bring him in.
Yep.
John Dorsey's another guy, man. Like that like another guy you bring in. You could be the GM, or maybe he's the football ops guy and he hires the staff and assists with the coaching. Like, they need to get some smart football people in that building. Those are two names I like. I like Arians a lot. It's a good suggestion.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I got, Jake. I've been laying low a little bit. My work schedule's been crazy, but I've been watching every day. The culture shot in this, between the culture, the Robert Saleh culture that still is imprinted on this organization, and the players that I guess are coddled in this situation. We're mired in the muck. There has to be some way to get out of this. And Sauce, get your head in the film room, and maybe you'll make a few more plays, and people won't say much about you, and then all will be well. You can get your big contract.
Yeah.
Look,
thanks, before Jake. You go though, Ted, we have to address we have to address the elephant in the room.
Yep.
Bobby Midnight.
Yeah, I am the elephant, and I'm going to squish you to pieces. Squash. With you, pot stirrer, what you sing? You can't sing. You don't like to sing. Then you throw out shit, and then you are a pot stirrer. Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this all the time? I'm your friend.
Bobby, I love you.
I gave you a right to. I might take it away, so you better watch your step, P's and Q's, okay? You don't,
Bobby.
Bobby,
can I say something then? No, I can say one thing. Bobby, I'm older than you. Okay, you want to say you're an old man? No, but Bobby, all I'm saying is the words were not correct. That's all I said.
Well, don't you sing it then. Let's see you.
I'm not a singer, Bobby. I'm not a singer. I don't do that.
I'm done. No.
Oh, I'm here by myself. Wonderful. I'm not going to sing, Jake. That's for sure. I could talk about the Jets, but definitely not going to sing. Hey, Jake, Asman, Lynn.
Excuse me.
What a show. What a show, man. Stop stirring the pot, Ted. All right. Stop being inspired by Matt O'Leary. Mother effing Chew writes in, my dog started howling when Bobby sang. Bobby, would you like to call in and respond to Mother effing Chew? Man. Top crowd today in this fan base, huh? We're all at each other's throats. All right. Well, there's no one on hold right now, so I think we're done here. I think we're going to end the program. However, this was just emailed to me by the great Snowball. So since he worked hard on this excellent Photoshop, I'm sure this took him hours. I will allow the audience to see it. Stand by. 1 second. God. How is this the part of the season we're at right now? Like, even if you're the most negative Jet fan ever, you're the Allen of Jet fans. You didn't think this team would be 3-7. I think Allen said they were going to go 10-7 or 9-8. I forget what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, this is from Snowball. Take a look. Matt McBride. If you look very close here, you can see that this figure appears to be Matthew McBride O'Leary. This is so sad. Sauce was a first-team All-Pro the first 2 years. We should be doing this to Michael Clemens, not Sauce Gardner. That's how sick being a Jet fan is. Sauce was the building block, not someone we're laughing at how bad it's been. I hate this team. I really do. I hate them. Ladies and gentlemen, at least we have an opportunity right now, based on who called in, to debut a brand new intro for this caller. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one Joe Douglas fan is on the line.
The only thing better than all these shoes is sexy Rexy because he also loves food. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody, and man, these Jets are depressing.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me, but I had to call in.
We hear you.
Wow, well, that's amazing. Gator is the man. It made me laugh, and that's what I need when it's this depressing. I just wanted to say, with the Sauce stuff, I do think that if you saw his interview that he had when Rex got fired, he's still butthurt about that, man. He spiraled really bad. Yeah, Salo. When Salo got fired, he was really upset. And it's been spiraling since then. And it's sad that it's gotten this. This is a guy who was rookie of the year, 2-time pro, and now he's fighting with the fans. It's just like, I almost want to get defensive because it's like I feel like Sauce is our family, and it's like I don't want family to fight, man. I hate this stuff. I'm not going to hate on Sauce because he gave us a lot of good memories as well in his career. But
well, he's going to be on the team next year, so like I'd like him to turn it around and play to his. We know he's one of the most talented players in the league. Like, you don't go first team All Pro twice by accident. I just need him to get back to that. He's having a bad year. No other way around it.
really bad, really bad. It's been rough to watch. Everyone, our whole defense though. Everyone, pretty much. Even Quinnen, he's had a couple good flash games, but we've been kind of after everybody on the defense, asking for some people to step up. It hasn't been pretty all around. And no one's talking about how we get Devontae over in this trade, and he's been in this offense for how long, but he has never played the wide position. So he's learning a new position, and you're seeing that on the field as well.
Yeah, but that should be interchangeable, is my understanding. That's what Fialco was saying. And hey, I'm sorry, Devontae, they got him at 2-4. You got to be ready to go, man. You wanted out of Vegas. They got rid of Mike Williams. You're getting an opportunity now. Go take advantage of it. And honestly, he's had one good game so far. He's played in 4 games. He's been good in one of them.
When I see him and Rodgers off, not on the same page, if you saw that Deebo Samuel interview with Garrett, Garrett was like, there's 100 different call checks at the line. He's trying to think what Rodgers sees just so he could be on the same page before the snap because it's so complicated. And it's they couldn't put Garrett over at the Y because he couldn't restart learning that position with Rodgers. So maybe even though Devontae's been in it his whole career, maybe it is interchangeable. I don't know. I'm searching for straws right now. It's been so bad. I just depressed, man. I'm just still depressed. And now this whole if Sauce is probably watching these shows, you should title something about Sauce. He'll probably watch because that's what he's doing. He's a kid searching YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy. We love you, Bones. The internet was starting to get choppy on the trade there. Look, here's the bottom line, right? If the offense is so complex, Aaron Rodgers is no longer good enough for it to be this complex. Simplify it. Mike Williams, go run a go route. That's literally what happened in Pittsburgh. He was only playing because what's-his-name got hurt. Mike Williams had never even run that play before. Russell Wilson told him what to do before the play. Why don't the Jets just do that? The offense is too complicated if that's the case. Simplify it. Dumb it down. It's not working. It worked when Aaron Rodgers was prime Aaron Rodgers or even a few years ago. It's not working right now. They never throw beyond the sticks. I mean, Rodgers' longest completed pass yesterday was 7 yards on a check down to Brees. It's not good enough. They don't have the coaching to overcome it. See, LaFleur is a really good coach, so him and Rodgers could work through things together. In Green Bay, they don't have that here. Downing is fine. He's better than Hackett, but you would never hire Todd Downing to be your OC. Todd Downing's not getting an OC job after this year. He's better than the guy you currently have, but that's a very low bar to clear. Board Fat, who always gifts a ton of memberships, just became a member himself. It's criminal that we couldn't get a membership gifted for Board Fat. But I want to thank you, Board Fat, for your support. You're the man. Free stuff. That's normally what we play for Board Fat, but he did it the old-fashioned way. All right, a couple more calls here, and then we'll wrap. Lot of different opinions on the state of this team, as you'd imagine. But there's probably an opinion that we haven't heard from yet since this debacle that we've all been craving, we've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now. If I can find his intro, it will make it even better. Hold on, where is it? Hold on. Stand by. Here we go.
It's Chiefs fan. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Chiefs fan. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Chiefs fan. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Chiefs fan. Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Oh, Gator, you always bring a smile to my face in the darkest of days, man. Thank you for that.
Darkest of days. Your team continues to find new ways to win.
My homie's Labrador passed away at age 19 today.
Your homie's Labrador? My condolences to your homie's Labrador. Or to your homie on the loss of his Labrador.
She lived 19 long years, and she's going to go see her brother now and his mom. But I was set. I woke up this morning. I'm like, yeah. Victory Monday, 5 a.m. We put her down last night. I'm like, shit. And he's also a Bears fan, so he's also pissed about that, too.
Yeah, tough one yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you think hurt worse, putting the dog down or the Bears loss?
The dog, because he's had that dog since he was 2 years old. Well,
That makes sense.
Yeah. Like you're like as a toddler, you're attached to your pets, and then as an adult, when you lose them, you just want to break a mirror. Like you can redo the breaking video if you want to do that too. Might as well.
Do you have any pets, Chiefs fan?
No. A landlord down here says we are not allowed to have them unless if it's like a service pet. And
we should get you a service pet.
Nah, that's for actual people who need it. When I move back up north, I will be working with pit bulls, though. My second favorite dog breed.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sending you a shirt, Chiefs fan. Now that you reminded me, I completely forgot to do it. You live already up north.
No,
I'm not gonna give out your address.
No. I still live in Southern Illinois.
But that's the north.
No, Southern Illinois, north of Chicago.
Yeah, but you're still in a northern part of the country.
Yeah, but I'm like not that north, and I'm looking at these Chicago apartments, and the best place I found so far is smack dab in the middle of Murder Row, $700 a month, but it's right in the middle of Murder Row where gang wars are. So the Chicago move is just getting pushed back until next fall.
Whoa. We're waiting till the fall now?
Because I'm waiting for the fall for that $1,000 apartment in a nicer area to be available.
I mean, $700 is a pretty good deal, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, but I'm really I'm 2 blocks away from a gang war, so I rather not be.
Yeah, but you're from the hood. You know how to handle that.
Yeah, but I haven't been there in since 2016.
Yeah, but they know you. They know about your legacy, your reputation.
Yeah, but a lot has changed since then. The people I know who are no longer in charge, everything has changed in 8 years.
What happened? They're in the clink?
Dad are 6 feet under. But I was rooting for you guys yesterday, and damn it, PBM. Read what do you want me to read off what he said?
No, do not read off what he said.
Oh God, good one. That was a funny one. I was hoping you guys would have that upset because I picked you in all 3 of my pick'em leagues, and I would have loved that upset. Could you imagine?
I thought they were gonna lose. I picked against them.
I decided to pick all 3. Kyler Murray always has at least one bad game a year. A really, really bad game, but he's been on fire. At this point, you guys might sneak in because the rest of the AFC is on fire other than my team and a few other teams. The AFC North is cannibalizing itself every 4 weeks when they face off against each other. And the East is the Bills, who are despised. And then the West is us. And then the South, they don't even have their shit together. Look at the Texans lost last night.
Yeah, the AFC stinks, yet the Jets can't take advantage of it because they too stink more than most.
I'm going to be real. If you guys didn't blow that game against the Patriots and won right there, I'm guessing you would have been 5-5, correct?
Now, let me ask you about your camera framing. What's up with this?
Oh, I'm too tired. I got my door right there. I was literally about to take a nap, and then I realized your show was on.
Why don't we do some jumping jacks? Let's
find the troops.
Come on.
I made myself one of those easy meals that we do. A little bit
Easy
of cocoa.
Mac?
No, a little bit of cocoa powder, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vanilla. And made a little cookie dough batter ghettoly and made myself a cookie mug to wake myself up for the show.
Nice.
Overdid the sugar, but it's fine. I've been craving sugar for about 2 weeks.
Craving sugar.
I'm trying to go 1 entire month without sugar in a row because I seen a study that someone went 1 entire month without, they had natural sugars with fruit, honey, and all that, but they went 1 entire month without processed sugars, and I've only lasted 2 weeks. So I'm trying to go 1 whole month in a row, 4 weeks, And if I could do that, I'm going to try to keep on continuing and continuing. Because even the sweetener drinks have sucrose levels in there, and that's still sort of a sugar. And I'm just trying to find a way to not be pre-diabetic anymore, because of that weight I put back on. I got back to those type of levels. But that's why I drink my tea just regularly. Don't add anything to it. Just like I drink my coffee black. Like if I want coffee, I just drink it black.
I see. Well, I feel like you got to start over because
I have to.
In November.
I'm gonna do my best. Like I know when I visit my grandparents around Christmas, they're gonna have that homemade apple pie, so I'm just gonna have a slice there. So let's see if I can go all the way to Christmas for our lady sweets.
Hey, you got to take it one day at a time, you know?
Yeah.
You can't get to Christmas unless you get through November 12th.
Yeah, and the thing is,
and then November 13th.
Yep.
And then November 14th.
Yep.
And then what's after November 14th?
15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. And the thing is, like, when my grandparents are like, you're going to enjoy this, even if you are pre-diabetic. We know how pre-diabetics, like, what you can eat, what you can't eat. It's not going to kill you to have a slice of pie, like, once every 6 months.
You a big apple pie guy?
More of a pumpkin, but my family on the East Coast loves apple pie.
Yeah.
I'm more of a pumpkin because I add a little bit of extra cream to mine, so it comes out creamy. Same thing when I'm making my tomato soup. You don't cook it in water, you cook it with milk. Or you're making homemade tomato soup, you add either cream or milk to it. Because who wants to add water to their soups? It's dull as hell. And speaking of soup, it's the soup season. Like I went out and hanged out with friends over the weekend. Got myself a $13 Panera ciabatta sandwich and a $13 bowl soup. And tipped them well. Like over the weekend, like I was talking to Sham about selling my Yu-Gi-Oh collection. And I'm like, my friend's like, I'll buy you out of the game just to help you move back to Chicago by next year. Walks over, hands me 5 $100 bills. I wrote that down. I got to report that on my taxes because
I would not. You know what? I'm not going to say anything.
I report all my money on my taxes now because
Do you have any accountants out there that could call in?
I'm going to report all my money on my taxes now because my friend got caught up.
Now, I don't know if this guy's actually an accountant, but when I asked that, he waved. So let's find out.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children.
I am actually an accountant, and Chiefs fan, please don't report it.
Okay. My friend told me to, but
Jake, can you do me a favor now that the Jet season is over? Can you please send Gator to follow Chiefs fan on his search for his next apartment and document it? Please, that would be just riveting video.
I want a full-on documentary, just follow like a camera crew, just like Hard Knock style, following Chiefs fan around every day.
It's either me moving there or me just packing up and going to North Carolina because my grandparents are getting up in age.
No, we need you in the hood, Chiefs fan. You'd be great there.
I would love it, but like I'm thinking of family. Like right now, I had a fallout with my adopted family over that hacking situation. They still don't want to talk to me since they had some issues with that. But if I go back to Chicago, it's just going to be on the south side or the north side. And if I go on the north,
Jake, how is he not number one? This guy, every time he calls it, he's brilliant. There should be a show with you.
Thanks,
Chiefs.
Alan.
I would watch it. There's so much garbage on TV, Chiefs. They need to follow you.
I mean, but the thing is, on my show, I would probably on my show, depending, I would probably curse way too much for the show to like it because I say, like, I'm sorry for this, Jake, but I say at least fuck 50 to 40 times a day.
That's fine. That's fine.
We can handle that, Chiefs fan. I wouldn't worry about that.
Like, it would be the Nights of a Billion Shits if I was on a show. If you ever seen that South Park episode?
Gator has responded. Need to start a GoFundMe and hire me to follow Chiefs fan around for the year. Will cost $120K and a personal bodyguard to prevent him from eating me. You wouldn't eat Gator, would you?
The The only person who I want to cannibalize right now is no one, so I wouldn't eat Gator. Cannibalism.
To be clear, you say the only person you don't want to cannibalize right now is nobody. That insinuates that you have thought about cannibalizing other people?
I mean, the only way you want to become a cannibal is if you crash in the Alps and you're trying to survive. That's the only way you should become a cannibal. Like they did it, like that. It happened in real life. They literally crashed in that mountain down in South America, and they literally had to cannibalize dead people to live.
Now, Gator tastes like chicken. Apparently, I just want you to know that.
I'm good. I'll cook my own chicken.
All right, well, Cheats fan, you gave us a lot in this call. Thank you for calling in.
One last thing before I go. Like, I understand you guys are pissed off at Sauce, but like, even an 8-year-old knows when to sit down and shut the hell up and take advice. Come on, Gardner. Like, come on. Like, you can't, just because you're making all this money and you're famous, sit down, shut the hell up, and take criticism. Like, criticism will make you better.
He got that Buffalo Wild Wings sauce and became really popular. It went straight to his head.
Like literally, even if someone came in and said, Jake, you need to improve this and this, Jake would want to improve it. Like for me, if someone says, hey, I need to watch my mouth, I'm like, I'm going to try to watch my mouth. Or Alan, like someone says, oh, you didn't do my accountant that fast. Well, an accountant can work as fast. No, when you're an accountant, you just don't give a fuck. You deal with someone before I go, I hope you don't have to work with tax offices because that was hell last April. Oh, I do. God. No wonder why you're so pissed off all the time.
Thank you, Cheese Man.
It's Cheese Man. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Cheese Man. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Cheese Man. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Cheese Man. Look. It's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
All right, we now get to the Alan phone call portion of the show. He's our last caller. Hello, Alan.
A couple of comments. First of all, I know Neil went after me on the first call. By the way, did he donate the 50 memberships that he had already promised?
What was the bet again?
He said we made the bet if the Jets lost by more than 7, he would donate 50 memberships, and he said yes. He did. You can go back to the video.
No, it sounds right. I forgot. I forgot that was a thing until you just reminded me.
Yeah. I knew if I would have lost it, people would have gone after me, but that's good.
Did that happen with Jeff on the show, right?
No, that was with me and him.
Because Jeff texted me last night. I'll just read it because it was very funny. He goes, this was at halftime. Assuming this doesn't change, I'm destroying Neil this week. I thought it was about that bet.
I'm waiting for the tears to roll down Bonesy's face when JD gets fired or when he gets let go. Jake, I don't think he lasts the year, honestly. I know that you said he might. I think they'll part ways before the end of the year. I just don't think he'll go through the rest of this year.
I'll tell you what, it would make sense because then you could get a head start on actually interviewing some candidates.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he's gone either by Thanksgiving or even before Christmas. I mean, you could tell by last week's press conference, he has absolutely no desire to come back, even if he was asked to be retained.
No, I don't think it's that. I think he knows. I think he would come back. He knows he's not coming back because the team is terrible. They were celebrating in the press box the Denver win yesterday. These guys want to win. They care. He's done. Ridiculous. He's a dead coach walking.
Ridiculous.
And
I know we brought up the names of Vrabel and John Gruden, but I look at the fragility of a guy like Sauce, and I wonder if those guys could actually be effective here. I mean, you look at some of these younger athletes, and they just go straight to social media, and they have such soft egos. You never know when one of these guys says something and they can go straight to the owner and say, I want him gone. I worry about that with a guy like Sauce Gardner. I think he's really soft, and I think he played under a country club environment for the last 2.5 years.
Well, he was the first team all-pro in that environment the first 2 years. So I'm not buying that, Alan. These guys need to be coached. They need to be tougher. You could turn teams around with better coaching. Like, the guys will buy in if they start seeing results.
I would love Gruden or Vrabel. I think I see. I don't know if Woody would actually make the call for Gruden. And again, I think Vrabel might wait for the Ohio State opportunity if Day gets fired or gets another opportunity. But they need a disciplinarian to come here. I mean, they need somebody who's going to hold these guys accountable. Unfortunately, this has been run like a country club over the last couple of years, and nothing will change until somebody puts their foot on somebody else's throat. That's the problem.
I agree, which is why, like, I don't care if, like, the guy, if guys can't handle tougher coaching, then they don't belong here. You're not going to win with them anyway. So, like, you do what's in the best interest of the franchise. They tried Saleh and everyone's player coach, and, you know, first thing he says in his introductory press conference, he's talking about how he wants guys to play well and then get paid, and he's like trying to appeal to the players, this and that. Like, it hasn't worked. You know, they have to do something significantly different this go around with the hire.
And one final comment to Matt O'Leary. He sounded sad when he was called out by Sauce Gardner. To me, it's a badge of honor when somebody calls you out. Again, embrace the hate. He didn't do anything
Jet fan.
wrong.
He wants the team to win. He covers them every day like I do. I don't
He
think he
didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong.
But he said, like us, you're laughing at the Jets being bad, yet you claim to be a Jet fan. We're all annoyed, angry, depressed.
Hold on, you laughed. Yes, you laughed yesterday too, watching some of these guys make tackles like that. Come on, they tackled like a freaking high school team yesterday.
I'm still angry though. I'm still very I talk about this team every day of my life. I wanted them to be good this year. There were more hype and expectations about this year than really any year over the last 15 years, and this is what we're getting. But
you made the comment. If you made the comment, you don't want to cry. You have to laugh about it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
in certain aspects of it, but I'm still mad. I still, I laugh by bringing Bobby Midnight on against Ted. I laugh at that and try and get through the horror show. I laugh about Chiefs fans going to you for accounting advice. I'm not laughing about the shit show that is this franchise right now because it sucks.
It's true, but you know what? Sometimes you have to laugh when the team doesn't show up and they show no heart like they did yesterday. That team quit in the middle of the second half. They quit.
They did. But I'm also angry about losing to New England the way they did. Going out to London and watching that bleep show in person. Denver losing that game at home. I'm mad about all this stuff.
Okay. Well, always a pleasure, man. Okay, and again, 3-7. Hopefully, they go 4-12 or 4-13 and 5-11. Please don't get to 7-10 and give some of these fans some false hope. This team needs to bottom out and just clean house. Honestly.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
They really do.
Everyone's gone, even if they go 7-10. So what does it matter? You got a higher pick, great. We've seen the Jets have all these high picks. It doesn't matter. You just pick the right player wherever you're at.
You never know with this owner. You really if this team goes 7-10 and win 4 of their last 7, you never know.
Joe Douglas is back if they finish 7-10.
I don't, but I have no confidence in this owner. Honestly, I think this owner is stupid enough to bring this guy back. He really is. I think he has the mental capabilities. If this team goes 4-3 down the stretch, he'll bring it back, and Bonesy will be happy, and this fan base will look in the mirror and say, what the fuck is going on? I really worry that this team will win 4 of their last 7, and he'll bring him back and let him hire the next coach. I really do. Unfortunately, I really do.
I'd be surprised, but I mean, this whole season's been one big surprise. Nightmare, but a surprising nightmare nonetheless. I think Douglas is gone, man. Hey, Alan, you said in your call earlier that you think he's not even going to make it to the end of the year. Now they're going to win 4 of the last 7 and go 7-10. Malcolm says, I'm a veteran, and since today's Veterans Day, it'd be awesome if I can get an Asmaniac membership. Malcolm, I will try. I wish I could just give you one, but YouTube randomly assigns it based on who's subscribed, who watches the show, who likes the video. So I'm going to gift one right now. This is in honor of Malcolm. So even if you don't get it, Malcolm, you being a veteran, and it's Veterans Day, we want to thank you for your service. We're going to gift the membership. Here we go. If anyone else wants to gift the membership, I'll stay on for a little while longer here at the buzzer. Membership has been gifted. It went to Chris_75. Chris, congratulations. And salute to Malcolm and all our vets. Hamburger, Allen covered all the possibilities, so he's right. Yeah, I mean, Douglas is leaving, then he's coming back. Allen's already throwing out a different draft prospect a day that the Jets could end up with. I mean, he's covering the bases. You got to respect it. Ladies and gentlemen, on Veterans Day, the great Gator McCluskey has just gifted, how about this, a 5-spot of channel memberships. Are we going to go on a run at the buzzer here? on channel memberships. Hey now, ladies and gentlemen, Gator McClellan. 5 names to read off: Joseph R. Moore, Patrick Cahill, JR24, Sunday Night Smoke Podcast, Mothman Evolved, all receiving a channel membership in honor of Malcolm, who's yet to get one. Now, make sure you turn on gift receipts. Click on Gator's name in the live chat and hit the button that says I want to be a member, or I want to receive a gifted membership. Twerp says, can I get a membership? If you're lucky. Pierre, Jake, you need to be on TV, no question. I appreciate that. I would take more radio shifts, though. I'm on ESPN New York this Sunday, right after the Jet game, from 4 to 6:30, then Knicks pregame on the station. So that's my next radio shift right now. Alan calling out Neil. I think Neil called in earlier today, didn't he? I feel like I took a Neil call this morning after Joe. Mr. Bonesy says, if JD is our GM next year, I'll start my own channel. 25 says, can I get a membership? You are a member, 25. Your name's in green. You got an icon next to your name. Kevin says, you can't even vent after a loss next week. I'm going to be venting immediately on the radio after the loss. What are you talking about? I'll be live on YouTube at 6:30. The postgame show will start. Anyway. Thank you all for your support. You guys are incredible. I meant to say this earlier. I was wearing the hat. We were sponsored today by Huga House. If you want this hat I'm wearing or any of the hats from Huga House, promo code Asman at checkout. HUEGAhouse.com to get your hat. All right. 2-hour show. 2.5 hours earlier. 3 hours last night for the post game. This fan base is still passionate, still cares. It's unfortunate the Jets seemingly don't. Thank you all for watching. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. We are back tomorrow. Robbie Sabo has a lot to say. He will be joining us. I'll talk to you guys then. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. He's back on you. Let me pray. There we go. New York, New York.
Yeah, Bobby.
I want to wake up in the city at the sweet and the king of the hill, top of the heath. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it. New York, New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it. Anywhere it's up to you. New York, New York.
Yeah, Bobby.